Hello and welcome to my channel Making Crafts, and welcome to the Kat Scrappiness Hop. Today the creative crew members are going to be showing you their favorite products, and so I've gone through my stash to see what are some of my favorite products from Kat Scrappiness, and I really struggled to pull out just a few, so I decided I'm going to settle on a cat theme today. So I'm going to be using this 3D square box die, and you can see here 3D square box craft die. That's how you would search it in the shop, but I'll try to link to the shop below. Also, I'm going to be using the Possum Cats stamp set. And then I will also be using the die set for the Possum Cats. And then I'm going to be using the paper pad that goes along with the cat theme. And I'm trying to find the front of the page. It's called the Cat's Meow. So this is the paper that I'll be using today. And I may pull in a few more products. There's so many products that are my favorites, but today I'm just pulling in a few, and I may pull in some more as I go along. So I'm going to get started by just using a little bit of inking around this box. And so I'm just going to show you here the pieces that came from the dies. So this makes it more 3D by having all of these two extra pieces at the top. So I'm just going to use some light brown ink and just ink around all of the edges. And I'll also fold the box pieces in the opposite direction that they are going to be when the box is put together. That way we have little, the creases of the box will show up more. And this just gives it a more 3D effect when you do this. So you can see here with this box, when I go to ink the lines that's on the inside of the box, I'm just going to fold it back in the opposite direction just to get a little bit more of that dimension. And so once I have the box inked like I like it, I'm going to go ahead and color in the cats that I stamped out. So I went ahead and prepared several of the items so that we will be ready to craft together. So I'm going to color in one of these cats. I went ahead and stamped two just in case I messed up coloring one, I would have the other one. So I'm going to color this cat black with a little bit of gray. So I'm going to come in and just add a little bit of black around the edges of the cat, and I'll just work my way around the entire cat, just adding a little black in different parts. And I am trying to add some dark where I think that shadows would be as well. Once I have that, I'm going to come in with my Gamsol. Now I like to use this brand of Gamsol because it's odorless and it's safe for the craft room. And so I know several have asked me before which one I use, so I thought I would show you today the bottle. And so I take that and I just pour it into these other little dauber bottles that I got off of Amazon. And you get a whole bag of them. So once I empty this, I'll just throw it away and start with a new one. And then I try to soak my little blending stump. Is really good with the Gamsol, and then just blend out the colored pencil. And so you can see here, I'm just blending it out, blending the black out so it kind of goes from black to gray. And then I am going to bring in some really light gray. So I'm just getting the sanding block and sanding off the excess paper there that has the black ink on it, or the black colored pencil on it. And then I'll come in where I have already colored in with a little bit of gray colored pencil, and I'll blend that. And so that's how you clean these little stumps off. You can just sand them off with a little sanding block. And most of the time they come with a sanding block. So now I want my little cat peeping out of the box. And this one I kind of did dark colors so it would be like my cat Clarissa. And so she absolutely loves boxes. So I thought this would be a cute little project today to put on a card, is to have her peeping out of this box, or peeking out of this box. So I'm just trying to line the cat up where it will be peeking out really cute, but not too much of it showing. And so I'm just going to glue down the fronts of the boxes, and that will help hold the cat down. And that helps me to have a moment to arrange where the cat's going to go. And so then I can just slide the cat to the right spot. And once I get it where I like it, then I'll just come back in with the other piece that's the front of the box, and I'll add glue all over it as well, around the edges and the top. And that will hold the cat in. Now you could add a little glue to the back of your cat, but I didn't. I want the cat not to be glued down, but kind of be popped up a little bit. You could pop it up with foam tape, but I just like the look of him sitting there, or the look of her sitting there without being glued down flat. And so I am leaving my box flaps loose. You could add a little bit of foam tape underneath. You could add just your little glue dots, anything like that if you don't want it to be loose like that. So now I'm just deciding what paper do I want to use for this card. I love all the colors, so I'm just putting my cat and box onto the paper just to the side. And I think I like this little fish paper here. And I may go with another sheet, so I'm just looking. Here's a scrap, so I may use this one as well. So I'm just trying to figure out what looks good with this cat and with the box. And so then I'm going to bring in the Possum Cats Sentiment stamp set, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment Keep Calm and Purr On. And once again, I'm stamping it twice. That way if I mess up cutting one out, I have an extra one that I can use. Since I already have it in the stamping platform, I always figure I might as well make an extra one. And then if I don't use it, I can just add it to my stamp pack for later on. So I haven't used these dies before. I love the cat stamp sets, but I haven't used all of the dies before. So I'm just using the Kat Scrappiness little clippers. I'll put the name below. And I'm just using those to clip out the little metal pieces that hold these together so that I can just use this one die. And then I'm just figuring out which direction this die goes, and then I'll just run it through my die cutting machine. So I have that ready, and now I have brought in a white card base, and I kind of want to just wing it today, just play. And I think I'm just going to create the front of this card without doing any measurements. I'm just going to glue my paper down and just eyeball it all and try this out. I had seen someone else creating a card this way, and I thought this looks like a good fun way to just free flow creating a card, not worrying about measuring, and I love the idea. So I'm not really sure if they tilted theirs or not, but I'm going to tilt mine just a little bit on the diagonal here across my card. And like I said, I didn't measure. I have no idea how much or how far up I went. I'm just eyeballing what I thought I wanted. And then I'm just pulling it back and adding a little bit more glue so that everything is glued down really good. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess. So today's project really was no plan. I went through my favorite products and grabbed these out and then decided, let's just create a card and see what we come up with. So I'm just creating it as I go. So I'm trying to decide now, do I want a different color to the top, or should I just add the same paper? I kind of like the idea of the same paper, but the gap there is bothering me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to eyeball the top and bottom there. I'm going to eyeball about the same distance from the edge as the bottom one is and kind of do the same thing, just mimic that. And so I'm just going to add some glue to my cardstock, and I'm just going to, once again, I'm not measuring it. I'm just going to glue it down up against the other one and just see what I come up with. And I love just trying out things like this. And I like how it turned out, so I'm glad. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to trim it off, but then I'll come back and add a little bit more glue to make sure the entire piece of cardstock is glued down. And the funny thing is, while I'm creating this, before I started creating it, I had to remove Clarissa from my chair. So she loves to nap in my craft room, and she sleeps in my chair. So I moved her to the chair behind me, the office chair, and so she's napping while I'm creating this card. And so you will get to see her in a moment because she's going to come check it out. She likes to stay in my craft room and check out what I'm doing. So, and she loves boxes. So this is a hop through Kat Scrappiness, and this is a giveaway. So be sure to look in the description below to see how to enter the giveaway. And the giveaway is from Kat Scrappiness, so the winner will be announced on the Kat Scrappiness channel. And since this is a hop, be sure to hop along to all of the other videos. If you'll look at my description, there is a link to a playlist, and you can see all of the other videos that's in this hop today. And the other creative crew members are showing their favorite products and giving you inspiration on how to use those products. So I've added some of the little fish stamps, and I die cut those out. There's a die for those as well. And then I've gone ahead and add the sentiment, and now I'm just bringing in some enamel dots, the turquoise that I thought matched all the colors. and I've added those to my card. And so this is another favorite product, and so I'm just creating some banners with it for the inside of my card. Okay, so if you watched my video, the last hop, I said I have to use up all the scraps each time. So I cut the video off and I had to start back because I remembered I have scraps, so I need to use up these scraps that were left over. So this is, I didn't have really many scraps left over. This was just a little bit that was left over. So I'm trying to decide what kind of card I'm going to make using these scraps. So I am just trimming a little bit off. Once again, I'm not measuring. I'm just using what I had. I was just straightening up some of the lines. And I kind of like them like this because it was kind of wonky. But you'll see I change my mind when I get to gluing it. And also this background piece was actually the scrap I showed you earlier. And it was the perfect size. So I thought, let's use that for our card. And so I did decide to finally line them up like this. I like it okay, but I kind of wish I'd have went back with the, where I had them turned kind of wonky looking. I kind of think that was a little cuter, but I think this turned out just as good. And plus I used my scraps up and got another card out of it. So I have the extra sentiment that I stamped, so I'm just going to use it. And that is the extra cat that I stamped, but I went ahead and colored him in as well. And I made him more of an orange cat. And so I'm just so that he pops on this card. And so then I'm just adding that to another white card base. And I have, once again, a simple card. And here you can see Clarissa's woke up from her nap and she's decided she has to check out what I've created. So typically I don't let her be in the videos. I take and pause and set her down on the floor. But I decided since I was making these cat cards, she should check them out. So she's sitting in my lap and she's really checking these cards out. She loves to sit over to the side when I'm crafting and watch everything I do. So here's the completed card. I did add some yellow enamel dots to that one. And then this one we have the turquoise enamel dots and it is completed. Well, thank you so much for watching and be sure to hop along to all of the other creative crew members today to get inspiration using their favorite Kat Scrappiness products.